Hey, I'm back. I fixed my hair this time. I want you to know that I'm funny and I clean up okay. I'm working to a deadline, not just that today is the last day to enter the contest, but I have to hurry and tape this before the humidity gets to my hair. I have this game that I play with my grandkids. It's called Pass the Pigs. You throw these little plastic pigs on the table and you get points for how they land. And if two pigs are touching, it's called making bacon and you lose your turn. Helps me know where my grandkids are developmentally. There is this look of understanding followed almost immediately by a look of disgust that the pre-adolescents get on their face when it dawns on them what making bacon means. I know this is supposed to be family friendly. I hope that wasn't too risque. My husband and sons, they're big science fiction fans. I like to mess with the boys and I do one of these and then I say, "May the force be with you." And then they tell me what a geek I am, which I know is their way of saying that I'm in the inner circle. I was in and out of the living room a lot while my son was watching Star Trek when I was working on my first novel. It wasn't until it was published that I realized that I had named my main characters Beverly and Deanna, just like Beverly Crusher and Deanna Troy. I figure it was kind of like secondhand smoke. I just didn't realize how much I had been exposed. There used to be a place in Las Vegas where you could apply for a special Star Trek credit card. Pose for a picture where they made it look like you were part of the Star Trek crew. I don't know how many times my husband did that. He never used the card much, but every time we went through Las Vegas, he had to stop and get a picture. We have a giant magnetic Yoda stuck to our fridge. I tried to take him down once after all the boys had moved out, but then there was a big Yoda shadow on the fridge that wasn't coming off. He pretty much goes with the house. So anyway, I am reminded every single time I open the fridge that there is no try. I basically blame all my dieting failures on Yoda. With all due respect, not everything is as crucial as destroying the Death Star. There is a try. We women have enough guilt heaped on us without making us feel bad every time a genuine effort falls somewhat short of the mark. We have Pinterest for that. You are my favorite little green guy, you and Kermit, but don't add anything new to my guilt pile. I try all the things all the time that I don't accomplish to the extent I intended. I am still proud of myself for trying. I don't do guilt. I am not a travel agent for guilt trips. I don't book other people on guilt trips, and I won't let anybody send me on a guilt trip. If I have something to feel guilty about, I'll take care of it. I have a conscience. I don't need you doing a little Jiminy Cricket on the side. It's okay if my kids think I'm kind of lame. It comes with the territory. Because I have little grandkids who think I hung the moon. They're pretty easy to win over. It just takes a couple of batches of cookies. I pull out the bat wings and I tell them, these are Grandma's cookie baking muscles. Skinny grandmas don't have them. Don't you feel sorry for those kids with grandmas who spend their cookie baking time down at the gym? I know I do. There's a big deal these days about not letting kids lick the bowl or the beaters or have any taste of raw cookie dough. The problem with that for me is that I'm expected to set the example for them. So I tell my grandkids, when I was a little girl, we didn't know that eating raw cookie dough was dangerous. And I built up an immunity so I can have some, but they can't. You think I'm making this up, don't you? I know some little people who could tell you a different story. I do try to exercise some self-control. Some days that's about the only thing I exercise. Goals change over the years from, wanting to look good in a prom dress to now where my goal is to just stay 10 pounds below knee buckle. Bad knees run in my family. Actually, they kind of hobble. 2 more family members just had knee replacements. Being inactive and carrying extra weight isn't the most healthy thing, but then again, I have friends who go on long biking trips up and down the coast, and guess what? They've got knee problems. It's just like the bumper sticker says, eat healthy, exercise, die anyway. True story. So, I'd be okay if that was my cause of death. Susan died as a result of eating raw cookie dough. She died with a smile on her face and was buried with a chocolate chip stuck in the corner of her mouth. I know it isn't the most healthy thing to do, but it's a risk I'm willing to take. Some people skydive, some people race cars. I eat raw cookie dough. And the risk goes down exponentially as I grow older, too. And one thing I know is that I don't want a boring obituary. I don't want one that's overly ambitious in stating things either. Susan was welcomed into the echelons of heavenly glory by legions of triumphant angels. No, let's leave that up to God. He'll figure it out. Have you ever noticed that you never see an obituary that says, Eric was ushered into the bowels of hell? I've tried to live a good life, but let's not overstate our case here. I think it's a little bit ambitious when people publish the state of their loved ones' souls in the obituary. Because, maybe not. The main thing on my bucket list is not to leave lots of meaningless stuff that my kids have to sort through. They aren't going to gather for a meaningful, does this give me joy experience. They're going to pull up to the house with a dump truck and say, do you think 2 loads will do it? I talk a lot. My mother says I didn't talk at all until I was 3, but they haven't been able to shut me up since. My husband is a therapist. He listens a lot to lots of people. Then he comes home and listens to me. One day I looked at the nightstand and there were my hearing aids next to his earplugs. So I took a picture because I've never found anything else that so clearly sums up our relationship. So, here you go, my 3rd and last entry for this contest. If I don't win, I'm still proud of myself for trying, even if Yoda doesn't think so.